Okay, hello. My name is Jamie. As you know, since this is my newsletter, and I figured I'd do something a little bit different this week instead of, and I'll still probably write it out there a little bit, but I wanted to do a video. I just got off a call with a really good friend of mine that I haven't talked to in quite a while. He called and he wanted to know a little bit about where or how to get started. He came up with a really cool idea, and he wants to be a speaker and a coach. He really has this big, heartfelt passion and drive that he's been afraid to go after, so to speak, for many years. I'm talking over 10 years, over a decade. And it finally came to talking to a couple of other people that, okay, he's ready to go. And his question was, hey, Jamie, what do I do? Where do I get started? Like, this is what I want to do, but I don't know how to get there. Can you give me a roadmap? And yes, of course, I can give you a roadmap. And I want to give you a roadmap. And so I thought I would share this with you guys and girls, sorry, to talk about where and how to get started. So a lot of people come to me, as you can probably imagine, and say, hey, I want a website, or hey, I want to do a podcast. What do I need? What equipment do I get? Or on a website, who should I host with? And this is all really important information and stuff that you really need to consider, when you're doing that. But I like to tell people to stop. Wait, if I were to just answer those questions, in my opinion, for me personally, I would be doing a tremendous disservice. And I think it's really important to understand what your message is. And of course, there's so much noise out there. You probably hear this all the time, but really dive into it. You need to find out what your questions are. You need to find out what your clients' or prospects' questions are. You need to find out what are those emotional connectors, emotional factors, emotional triggers that is going to make someone take action and buy the products or services that you're selling. And I don't mean to cheapen it at all by saying that, but it's basically that's it, right? You're doing something that you're incredibly passionate about, that you can help people out with, and they're going to give you money because you're able to help them get there. And this is basic commerce, right? But in order to do that, it has to be, meaning your message has to be compelling. And I wasn't even really going to, before I kind of go into this a little bit further, but I wasn't even really going to talk about this. But this conversation just impacted me in such a way that I couldn't not share this. And what better way to share it than the educational newsletter? So let me dive into a little bit. There is something, and I apologize for the text messaging, doggone it. I should have turned off my notifications. Shame on me. So there is something that's known as a brand profile. Now, if you don't know what that is, I'm going to explain it to you. If you do know what that is, maybe I can say something that you may not know about what a brand profile is. And I want to give a big, huge shout out to my good friend, Jared Ngaza. He is an incredible brand architect, and he's actually the one that created the brand profile that I'm talking about. So what I did was we went through version after version after version. That's the first thing you're going to want to know when you go diving into what your brand profile is all about. The first time you do it, to prevent paralysis by analysis, is to just get it out there. Now, don't just do it without going through a brand profile. I recommend doing a brand profile, but don't just kill yourself on the details. Go through it, get some information, really get an idea, do some studying, some research, and just go. You can always tweak it. I'm actually on the 4th version of my brand profile in the last year. So I've revised it 4 times, obviously with a lot of help and feedback from clients, from friends, and obviously Jared, our team. But basically what it is you want to be able to capture, and I'm going to read some of this because this is what's written on our brand profile. You want to capture some of the purest, most refined characteristics of your company. It's your story. It's the personality of your company. And it's ultimately what people will connect to. If they like what the experience from you, they'll keep coming back and spreading the word. And there is no more compelling advertisement than raving evangelist for your brand, right? So that's what it says there. So take that from what you will. Let me give you my insight, my perception of what that means. There's three things that your clients will experience, or that you will try to convey that they will experience. One are the challenges, right? That's what they're experiencing. They have a pain point. That's pretty easy, right? Number two is you're going to offer a solution. That solution is going to take away that pain. And then number three is how the outcome is attached to them emotionally. This is huge, okay? This is huge. Number one, what I said was challenges, problems, pain points. Number two, solutions. The certain thing that you do, product or service, that helps them eliminate their problems or challenges. And number three is, how does that make your prospect, your client, feel? How does it make them feel? Do they feel happy? Do they feel relaxed? Is it something to where you're helping them so they can, oh my gosh, they can, they haven't been able to talk to a family member, and you're actually helping them get up the cojones to go and face that person that they love, but they haven't been able to talk to, and there's been a big challenge, there's been a big problem. You're going to give them the courage to move forward. Or maybe it's you're helping them out so they can pay off, their house, or pay off debt, or find a way to improve their credit, whatever it is. Those are the three things you need to focus on. But guess which one of those you will never use to market your business? It's the middle one. It's the second one. You're going to market challenges and pain points, obviously. You're also going to market to them, and which I prefer marketing to them because it's much more positive, is the outcome or the feeling after they've gone through your solution. Never, ever, 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 ever market the solution. Don't do it. Why? Because people don't care. People are too busy. There's too much stuff going on. It's a waste of your marketing time, effort, dollars, everything. So focus on those things. As you move your way through the brand profile, there's a couple things you need to understand about your target demographic. You need to understand their age and gender ratio, the economics, meaning who is your target? How much are they? How old are they? Is it male? Is it female? Is it part male, part female? Find out what that is, and then find out what their annual revenue is. What's the career that they're in? Have they been in business for a while? Are they a startup? Are they looking to add on to oops, sorry about that. This thing's a little tricky sometimes. I'm not really sure why it just falls down. Anyways, then you want to go into the psychographics. This is the really important part, the psychographics, because you have the demographics. You understand what that is. And you may be familiar with a term called an avatar. And this is kind of what you're developing, is an avatar. But I challenge you to go a little bit deeper and go into the psychographics. Not only are you looking at, are they well-cultured? Or is it farmers? Is it, what are they? But what do they do? What makes them tick? Do they read books? Great. That's not deep enough, though. What kind of books are they reading? Let me give you an example. There's a friend of mine. His name is Christopher Lochhead, and he is one of the co-authors of a book called Play Bigger. If you haven't got it, get it. It's amazing. It'll change your life, and it's all about category design. But one of the things that I would recommend is not just saying, do they like to read? Okay, perfect. Well, that doesn't tell you enough. If they like to read, do they like to read books like Play Bigger? The reason I get specific like that is because I may share a post on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or something like that saying, I just read this amazing book, Play Bigger. Now, all the people that Play Bigger is going to identify with are exactly the target market that I'm looking for. It's more experienced, kind of been in business for a little bit longer. This is a little bit high end. It's category design. It's more detail oriented. It's that's the type of people that I want to be working with. Your industry is going to be different. Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's all over the place. So that's psychographics. You got to understand what their greatest fears are. So you need to do the research there, and then what are their greatest motivations. And I won't go through the entire the entire profile here, but this is just to give you an idea of some of the things that you should be looking to do before you ever start a website or start a podcast or any kind of thing like that. The next thing is unique selling proposition, and let me read that to you here. And this represents the most unique aspects about your brand and the ones most likely to compel your target demographic. They are elements that your competitors couldn't or don't have, something unique to you. It's something that is usually attached to a personal story or characteristics. What do you have that is special? What's happened in your life? Because everybody, I don't care who you are, you're always going to meet someone smarter, someone doing better. Don't worry about that. What happened to you in your life? I guarantee you 100,000% that nobody else in the entire world has had a life exactly like yours. That the hills, the tops, the valleys, the ridges, the ebbs and flows of it all, right? Find your unique story within that. So not unique selling proposition, but what is your unique story? Talk about that. And here's the thing. This is going to resonate with people that have had similar experiences in the past. And maybe they're not as far along as you, and that's why you want to be able to help them out, right? No matter what your product or service is, you have to align that from your point of view, your story, right? And something that was said back in 2014, I'll never forget this, by Michael Koenig. He said, we've moved from a transactional-based economy to a relationship-based economy. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you've probably heard me say that before, but it's so true. And people aren't just giving you money just to give you money. There's so many choices out there, so many different ways to go, that they want to be able to give you money because of the way you make them feel. Again, going back to that outcome. So it's just some ideas there that you want to come up with, what you do differently. You want to go over some tone and personality. These are the words that articulate the tone of what you do and specifically how you do it. For us here, we have words like strategic, storytellers, imaginative, wise, authentic, unorthodox. I love that one. And experiential, right? We like to try new things. And we do it in an unorthodox style. I just love stuff like that. Then, of course, you're going to have to come up with your vision statement. This is what you aspire to do. Then you're going to come up with your core values. Here's our core values: extraordinary communication, unbridled creativity, habitual strategy, and insatiable passion. And notice that when I go through those core values, I could have said communication, creativity, strategy, and passion. But the way that Jared and I worked this out, we really wanted to get into what our core values were. And that afforded us the ability to create an additional adjective to describe the way in which we communicate, the way or how creative we are, what kind of strategy we're doing. Habitual, meaning we're always strategizing. And then insatiable passion, not just passion. So if you'd like to learn more about this and learn how we can do a brand profile for you, please definitely reach out. But I think you can take this information with what I've covered here today and work on that. I challenge you, work on it, send it over to me. I'd be happy to review it and look at it. I know there's thousands. I've 1,500 people on the email list. Not a huge one, but if you take the time to look at this, I challenge you to come up with your brand profile. Send it over to me. Ask me questions. By all means, ask me questions, and I will do everything in my power to respond back, um, give you some feedback. Heck, let's even set up a call or something like that. I just really want to see you guys succeed and girls succeed. So check it out. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any other questions at all, please feel free to visit us at slapshotstudio.com. You can check us out at podcastpilot.com. And I'm actually coming out with my own personal brand. Yes. Not going to tell you any more than that, but it's pretty exciting. And if you would like to be in front of, oh my gosh, how do I describe these people? They are flipping amazing people. Myself, Anthony Witt, and David Trenner Kahn have gotten together and are creating our very own live event in St. Louis, Missouri. That's April 17th through 19th, St. Louis, Missouri. You can go to 3daymba.net to learn more. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a hardcore business intensive for 3 days. You'll be learning from everything from mindset to legal to accounting to finance. And the people that are speaking there, I think we have 18 speakers that are speaking at the event. It's top notch. I mean, it's going to be great. So if you'd like more information on that, go to 3-Day MBA, Masters of Business Academy is what MBA stands for, .net. So 3daymba.net, and 3 is the number 3. And yeah, look forward to chatting with you guys. I'll stop rumbling here. I'm just really pumped for this. And you know who you are. I did this video based on our conversation right now. And so I'm really pulling for you. Just stoked that you're challenging yourself and finally going after what it is that you want. And I hope the rest of you do the same. So thanks so much. Have a great one. And at the time of this recording, I think, yeah, I'll keep it evergreen. Okay. Talk to you guys soon.